You're sitting on the couch watching TV when you hear chewing. While you were distracted, your dog decided to take a peek inside that new fancy pillow. Now the stuffing is lying all over the floor, and the furry culprit doesn't seem to care less. When you get up to scold them and clear up the mess, you may catch yourself wondering, does your dog even know they did something wrong? Are they sorry for destroying your shoes? Do they even want to apologize? Or are those puppy eyes just for show? The answers may not be what you think. Stay tuned as we unpack this topic, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more handy tips on how to communicate with your pooch. How does your dog feel about their wrongdoing? First of all, we need to look at the psychology of canine apology. Animal behavioral scientists sort emotions into two categories. Primary emotions are the basic, instinctive emotions that are experienced by most mammals and birds, such as fear, happiness, anger, and sadness. While secondary emotions are the more complex emotions experienced by humans and primates, such as shame, pride, and guilt. Dogs are generally considered to experience only the primary emotions. Although many dog owners will argue that their pooches are perfectly capable of experiencing more complicated feelings, scientists generally believe that this is just humans misinterpreting dogs' responses. For example, if an older dog negatively reacts to a new puppy brought home, this may look like jealousy. However, it's actually more likely that their hostile behavior is triggered by anxiety at having their routine disrupted. Guilt is a secondary emotion, so dogs don't experience it. If your dog occasionally raids the trash or drips mud all over your carpet, they do not understand that they have done something wrong, in the sense that a human would. In one experiment, dog parents were asked to instruct their dogs not to eat a tasty treat, then leave the room. While the parent was gone, the researchers took away the treat, but then told the parents that their dog ate it. The findings? Dogs showed the guilty look when their owners scolded them, even though they didn't actually misbehave. This suggests the guilty look may not be an apology, but a reaction to the owner's behavior. It seems dogs are masters at reading human emotions and responding in a way that might just diffuse the tension. A clever move. And even if dogs could feel guilt, in many cases, the behaviors that humans consider naughty are not only normal for dogs, but have their basis in instincts that would help them survive in the wild. Digging up holes in your backyard, for example, not only feels good for your dog, but also reflects their natural instincts to hide food, create a cool spot, or make a comfy den. Your dog may as well expect you to feel guilty for making coffee in the morning, or wanting to be alone in the bathroom. From their perspective, we are the weird ones. So if your dog doesn't feel guilty for what they've done, why would they apologize? Well, although your pooch can't understand when they've done something wrong, they can understand that they've made you upset. Dogs are extremely sensitive to tone of voice and can distinguish very easily between a human who is happy and a human who is angry or sad. They also have what's known as associative memory, the ability to understand and remember links between different concepts. For example, the link between the action, "I drooled over your socks," and the response, "the human raised their voice at me." This is why experts recommend not scolding or punishing your dog unless you catch them in the act. Your dog won't understand or form any links between what they did and your reaction unless they happen close together. If there's a gap between the two, your dog may assume you're just scolding them for something else entirely. And let's face it, even when they're in trouble, it's hard not to forgive that furry face. To make things right, they might try a few moves like licking, nuzzling, or even bringing over a toy. It's their way of saying, "Let's be friends again." Interestingly, wolves do something similar to patch things up within their packs. Other dogs, when they've done something naughty, might do the opposite and go into what I call the guilt corner. They avoid eye contact, hang their heads low, and tuck their tails in. This isn't them feeling guilty per se, but more about them not wanting to face our wrath. They do, however, learn from these encounters and remember that certain actions might lead to a scolding. Should we forgive our dogs quickly? So now that you know your dog is trying to apologize, how should you respond? First of all, you should always accept your dog's apology. It's not fair to hold grudges against them for bad behavior, especially when it comes to behaviors such as wetting the floor or chewing up slippers, as this can often be a sign that your dog is stressed and needs support rather than punishment. Just like some people tap their feet or fidget with pens when they're anxious, dogs turn to chewing. The repetitive action releases pent-up energy and stress. This behavior isn't just random. Wild dogs chew on bones, sticks, and other materials, not only for nutrition, but also as a way to keep their jaws strong and their teeth clean. So, when your dog picks up a shoe or a cushion, they're just trying to soothe themselves. Let your dog know that all is forgiven by responding positively when they want to connect with you. Talk to them in a soothing tone to signal they're forgiven, and comfort them with pets and head scratches. Do dogs apologize to each other? Dogs also have their own ways of smoothing things over with each other, especially since they rely on their pack for essential needs like food and safety. Minimizing conflict within the group is crucial for their survival, so following a spat, both the wronged party and the one who stepped out of line often spend more time together to ease the strain. They might lick each other, which in the dog world is a peace-offering gesture, sort of like extending an olive branch. Another common behavior is rolling on their back to expose their belly, which shows vulnerability and submission, signaling that they don't want to fight and would rather get back to being pals. If it's we who mess up, how to apologize to our dogs? Whether we've been a bit too sharp in our scolding or accidentally stepped on their tail, we often feel guilty and want to make amends. The good news is, dogs have a pretty short memory for isolated bad events. They're likely to bounce back quickly, eager to restore the peace and get back to the good times. However, it's important to note that while dogs can forgive the occasional mishap, they have a longer memory for repeated mistreatment or abuse. Their brains are wired to make associative memories, which means they remember and associate certain people or situations with negative experiences. This is a survival mechanism, helping them recognize potential threats and avoid a cycle of negativity. So, if a dog experiences consistent mistreatment from a particular person, they may start to associate that person with fear or discomfort, making it harder for them to trust or forgive easily. This isn't about holding a grudge, but more about self-protection and learning from their environment. In the grand scheme of things, dogs are incredibly forgiving creatures, often willing to let bygones be bygones after a sincere apology and some affectionate reassurance. They're experts at living in the moment and don't tend to dwell on the past, which is something we could all learn from. What grinds your dog's gears? Sure, there's vet and grooming, but what about everyday things? Check out this video for 12 reasons you may be giving your dog to hate you without even knowing it. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and join our doggy-loving community.